Spotlight with me, SirLanceJay.
StruggleThePreacher started out his career as a rapper back in 2003, which led him to many different fields, from a web designer to a movie maker. He has released 3 studio albums and a number of mixtapes and singles. Despite spending so much time on music, his true passion has always been films. In 2007, he wrote his first screenplay, Can I Recognize Your Soul, that he got to start shooting only in 2016. In March 2018, he shot a short movie, Words Can't Describe, in which he also starred and which is due out this year. Besides being in front of the camera, StruggleThePreacher spends a lot of his time behind the camera, shooting, editing, and color grading videos for various people and organizations.
Welcome back to Spotlight with me, SirLanceJay. Alright, so I'm sitting here with Mr. StruggleThePreacher, New Jersey filmmaker and actor. How are you doing today?
I'm fine.
Alright, good. Alright, so when you look at this wall, what are you feeling?
Well, it gives me it reminds me of the Charlotte Hornets pattern, the NBA team, you know, because they have
Hornets.
this, they kind of honeycomb.
Honeycomb, okay.
Yeah, so that's the first, thought that
comes to mind.
Yeah. So,
okay.
and speaking of, emotion, I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell.
Alright, so honeycomb, Hornets, the NBA team Hornets, is what stands out to you when you look at this wall.
Yeah.
Alright, that's great. Everybody's answer is supposed to be different. So if your answer is the same, then the wall's not doing its job. Okay? Alright, so before we get into the interview, we're going to start with an icebreaker game. This or that, okay? Mm-hmm. So he doesn't know any of these questions, as before, as I do all my episodes. But he doesn't know any of the questions, and this is going to be his natural answer. Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay. Books or movies?
Movies.
Movies, okay. Nike or Adidas?
Nike.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he was quick to answer that one. Socks or slippers?
The first one, what?
Socks or
Socks
slippers?
or slippers.
Slippers?
Yeah.
Okay. Pizza or sushi?
Oh, definitely pizza.
Fast food or homemade?
It's kind of hard to choose,
Really?
because it depends on who cooks,
Okay.
But let's say when
the best homemade meal you had against a fast food restaurant?
I'll go with homemade.
Homemade?
Yeah.
Good choice. Because I was about to say, if you pick fast food, I was going to say, okay, what restaurant are you talking about? And what is it better than homemade dinner?
No, it's not better.
Right.
It's an option.
Okay, it's an option. Okay. All right, well, let's move right into this interview. And let's go straight in. All right, so why StruggleThePreacher? What's the story behind your name?
When I was maybe 12 years old,
Okay.
I was like, I wanted some kind of different name.
Mm-hmm.
It's totally different from what I heard.
Right.
So, and I was like, okay, I was going through a dictionary basically,
Okay.
And I was like, I was like, okay, struggle. I was like, yeah, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
There was actually no, any thought behind it. The same way I added the preacher, but it was a few years later.
Okay.
And
So Struggle was the initial name.
Yes.
And then later
Yes.
became
Yeah,
the
the preacher.
All right, so what would you say is the hardest part about being a man with so much creative style in the New York City and New Jersey area?
I want to say that I have the most challenging part about it. Maybe it's just like I always have so many ideas and projects in my head,
Okay.
and I try to do as many things as possible on my own. But sometimes just like I need somebody, just to assist, and it's not always easy, because everything first of all requires a budget.
Right.
And that's why I had to learn so many different skills, just to be able to do it without paying anybody for that.
Right.
But having so many different ideas about what I want to do, about many projects, and many movie scripts and everything, just like, okay, I cannot fulfill
all these needs.
Because I either don't have. It's basically based on the budget, first of all. If you have budget, you don't have any problems. You go hire people, you got the crew.
Right.
But it's hard to find those enthusiasts, who would be like, okay, I want to be a part of it.
Right.
So I want to say that's the most.
That's the hardest part. Trying to find a team and the budget around the team.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
other than that, I mean, everything is just like it's nothing is difficult. I mean,
Right.
As long as you want,
Mm-hmm.
and you just gotta take a camera or whatever, just like and go and do that.
Okay.
So,
All right. Well, to the last question, being a filmmaker and an actor, a teacher, and much more, how do you juggle all those hats?
I don't know. It's something that I think it's something that's creative thing in me.
Mhm.
It just I started as a rapper,
Okay.
and all of that opened so many different fields for me,
Yeah.
because I was like, okay, like I said again, so many ideas in my head. I was like, okay, let me try this, let me try that, and that's how it works. But you have to have a heart for it.
Right.
You just can't. I mean, and you never should put any kind of beneficial thoughts before you start doing, a project. It's something that it's more about values and manners
Okay.
in people. But it's
Okay.
still, I can say it reflects Bible in certain way,
Okay.
because what is basically, it not always makes sense to talk to average people in the words of Bible. I mean,
Right.
because they gotta be, like kind of.
Just the word Bible sometimes
Yes,
turns people away.
Exactly.
Right.
So what I do, I just take those commandments basically, and put them into regular everyday words, and things, So basically, I'm talking about commandments,
Right.
but in those kind of things that we all familiar with, you
Right.
know. So.
All right. All right. Well, guys, don't move too quickly. Struggle the Preacher is going to give us an inside look into his new film. Keep it locked right here.
Hey, recently I released my first feature movie, Can I Recognize the Soul? It was a great experience to do this movie and from writing to directing to acting and to editing, So I did so many things in this movie, but of course I wouldn't be able to have it done without my crew. And this movie is basically is about what's going to happen in the afterlife. Can we recognize our souls? And if so, how will it be? In what form? But besides that, it's also about more worldly things like relationship between people and values and moral qualities and all that kind of stuff. So, and of course, it's about basketball, which I love, and which is one of my passions. One of the most difficult things in terms of production was the sound, because the sound is at least 50% of the quality and the success of any movie. And I knew that I had to do all the ADR, I had to do all the Foley sounds, all the audio design, and that was the most difficult and challenging part personally to me, and that's why it took longer to drop the movie than I was expecting.